nerds, it is Wednesday, which means it's time to talk about the sadly penultimate episode of Ms. Marvel. My first note says that just for Mary, I am writing down that the evil old guard are really called the clandestines, so that I say that word in this video. Not that it matters, because by the end of this episode, they're and we don't care about them anymore, so I could have just kept calling them evil old guard. But the clandestines is what they're called. I really liked the intro, like morphing into a classic, like old-timey newsreel. I thought that that was really cool. And also, I spent a fair amount of this episode learning a lot about Indian and Pakistani history, which was interesting and awesome. It's cool that they do that. It's nice that it's woven into the narrative. It's also really sad that most of this stuff I had never heard before, because I grew up in America, where they teach me about American history, and where world history is still very, very much through a Western lens. During the intro, flash even further back before that time period and before the train to see Aisha and Nani's father get together. Hassan, I think is his name. But we get to see them together, and that's really cute. And they flash forward to Aisha being pregnant, and she looks just like that piece of Nani's art, which obviously this is a film, right? So they could make the art and then make the character look like that piece of art with the flower in her hair and the way her braid is done. And I get that, but it's still really cute to think that like that's how she's remembered. It's adorable. It was really, really adorable. My next note says, and this is something I've considered a lot, y'all considered how much the MCU has really lucked out on the compatible biology of it all? Like, humans can just procreate with any other species, dimension, other alien that they encounter. Like, that's how we get all of these half human, half whatever. Like, Star-Lord's dad is literally a living planet and still knocked up his mother. Or is it really just because all of these stories are written by humans and we like to imagine that everybody can sleep with us? And then Najma just shows up to absolutely ruin everything. Like, there's this miracle of birth, right? Wow, Aisha had a kid with a human man and it happened. And then Najma's like, hi, I found you. You thought you were hiding. And Aisha's like, no, I wasn't hiding. I just thought that you were dead. And I didn't look to confirm it because, you know, I was like scared about the people who maybe killed us. And so I've just been here on the run, not hiding even a little bit. And then Hassan just proves what an amazing guy he is. He just takes it all in stride that she's magic. He's happy to run away with her because he knows she's running from something. And that what's important is that they're together. And he's really sweet. And it's a very touching moment. And it's really sad because I know that Aisha's not going to make it through this. And he doesn't yet. And then we get Kamala back as she's running around the train area because they're at the train, they're trying to escape. Najma's there. Aisha has to leave. Sana is Kamala's Nani's name, has to leave Sana with her father, and then she gets stabbed. And then she and Kamala have this scene that's absolutely heartbreaking, and I was full on tearing up. The two of them just talking and her being like, no, but you need to save Sana. And her being like, no, you're here. Like, the bracelet worked. It happened. You need to protect her. You need to protect yourself. And I absolutely cried. And I totally knew the moment that Kamala like showed up at the train that she was going to be the one who made the stars and got her grandmother and her great-grandfather like reunited, but that doesn't make it less beautiful when it happened, and also it didn't make me tear up any less when it happened, because I definitely did. Man, this is just the emotional whoomp episode. Like, it really had me tearing up an awful lot in both sad and happy ways. And then we're back in modern times and the veil is open and oh no, the other universe might come in. Actually, never mind, it's just gonna kill all of the clandestines. I can't decide if I really enjoyed the turn to crystal crumbles into a skeleton which crumbles effect, or if it felt too cartoon. I don't know. It's weird because there are a lot of cartoon elements in this show in particular, in that when we are in Kamala's head, there's a lot of cartoon elements and her artistry and drawings figure into everything. And this particular method of death had a little bit of that feel, but we have for the last few episodes been way more grounded in reality, and this is really happening. So the effect just fell a little flat for me. Not that it wasn't visually engaging to look at, but just that I felt like it didn't fit with some of the other things that I had been experiencing recently. But it was kind of cool. And then Najma is like, yeah, I will close this portal because Kamala gave me a 6-second pep talk and I've changed my whole outlook on life. Like, I ditched my kid like less than 24 hours ago, but right now, you're right. I feel bad about it. She just sends out her energy to Kamran, and lo and behold, the boy's gonna get powers. That's pretty exciting. And then she sacrifices herself to close the rift, and there we go. Everything is wrapped up nicely in a cute little bow, but there's still a whole nother episode. So, well, and there's also still a few minutes left in this episode, so something else might be happening. What does happen is Kamala's mom realizing that Nani was never crazy and that her family does have magical powers and that Kamala is Nightlight. And she handles it all surprisingly well. Like, I expected a serious freak out, and instead she was like, oh my gosh, all of this is real. And my daughter's a superhero. Okay, this is my new reality and we're moving forward with it. And maybe that's because she grew up on these fantastical stories that her Nani told her, well, that her mother told her. And so had already started to accept the magic of the world and certainly had probably accepted it as a child. And so this was reverting to previously held beliefs rather than shattering her whole worldview. But she did really handle it very well. And then Kamala gives her Nani the picture of Hassan and Aisha and Sana, and then I was absolutely crying again because it was so pretty and so cute and so heartfelt. Gosh. And then she goes to find Kareem and he gives her his bandana, and they also find Kamala's broken necklace because they're just like really working hard to build the elements of the classic Miss Marvel costume. And I have enjoyed watching that develop, like as everybody just like hands her a thing and being like, hey, what about this? What about this? Maybe this could be part of your Miss Marvel outfit. I love it. It's so good. And then they're like, hey, I know that you feel like everything is wrapped up, but we still have one more episode, and there's also those really evil government agents, and you know that the number one thing that we like to do in Marvel is have bad government agencies that other people need to beat up. So in the last few minutes of Miss Marvel, they want to remind you that that government shadow organization still exists. So Kamran finds Bruno and finds out his name is actually Bruno. And it's really funny when he's like, oh my God, I really did think your name was Brian this whole time. And like Bruno thought he was being mean and he wasn't, he just thought his name was Brian. And that was kind of cute. And I was like, oh, they're bonding. And they are bonding, trauma bonding, because there's a giant explosion and the Circle Q is mostly destroyed. So I'm happy for those boys and their future, and I look forward to the next episode. Let me know what you thought of this episode of Miss Marvel, and also let me know how we got 5 episodes into this show and I still haven't seen Ant-Man. He only has 1 more episode to show up. So somebody send me Paul Rudd. Not because I desperately want him, but because this show is trying to tell me I'm gonna get him. And I really, really need that. And I will see you tomorrow.